Most composers think they're not landing TV shows, movies, or commercials because their music just isn't good enough. So they spend hundreds, sometimes thousands of hours tweaking mixes, swapping snare samples, and chasing perfection, wondering why nobody's calling. But here's the reality. Great music gets rejected every single day. Most independent musicians don't miss out on sync placements because their music is bad. They miss out because they don't understand how the industry actually works. They don't know who's making the decisions, where the money comes from, or how a track goes from a hard drive to a Netflix series or a national commercial. In this video, we're going to break down the entire sync licensing ecosystem, from the people involved to how you actually get paid, so you can stop guessing and start approaching sync like a professional. First, let's answer the obvious question: what exactly is sync licensing? Sync is short for synchronization. It simply means pairing music with moving pictures. Every time a song is legally used in a TV show, film, commercial, YouTube video, video game, trailer, or even a social media ad, that's sync licensing. It sounds simple, but behind every placement is an entire business ecosystem, and understanding that ecosystem has never been more important. The music industry has changed dramatically. Streaming pays very little for most independent artists. Physical sales have largely disappeared, and live performance isn't the right path for everyone. That's why sync licensing has become one of the most practical ways for composers and producers to earn meaningful income from the music they create. But there's a catch. You can't succeed in sync if you treat it like the traditional music industry. It's less about becoming famous, and much more about understanding how the business works. So let's follow the path your music takes, from your studio all the way to the screen. Let's start at the finish line. Where does sync music actually get used? Most people immediately think of blockbuster movies or TV shows, but that's only part of the picture. Your music could end up in film trailers, national commercials, Netflix and HBO series, reality television, sports broadcasts, video games, corporate videos, podcasts, YouTube channels, or social media advertising. Every one of these industries needs fresh music every single day. That creates a constant demand for new tracks. Once your music gets placed, the next question is, where does the money come from? In sync licensing, income usually comes from two different sources. The first is the sync fee. This is the upfront payment for licensing your music. Think of it as paying for permission to use your track in a project. Depending on the production, that fee might be a few $100s or many thousands. The second source is performance royalties. These are earned after the project is released. Whenever a television show airs or your music is publicly performed, organizations like ASCAP, BMI, or PRS collect royalties from broadcasters and distribute them to the rights holders. Here's the simple version. Sync fees pay you once. Performance royalties can keep paying you long after the placement happens. So if companies are licensing music every day, who actually decides what gets used? That's where the industry's gatekeepers come in. There are three key players you need to understand: music supervisors, music publishers, and production music libraries. Music supervisors are responsible for finding the right music for a project. They work with directors, producers, and editors to choose songs that match the creative vision, while also fitting the budget. They're also responsible for making sure every piece of music can be legally licensed. The problem? They're incredibly busy. Most supervisors aren't scrolling through YouTube or answering cold emails from thousands of composers every week. Instead, they rely on trusted sources they've already built relationships with. That's where publishers and production music libraries come in. A music publisher typically represents artists, songwriters, and commercially released music, pitching those songs for sync opportunities. A production music library focuses on music that's created specifically for film, television, advertising, and digital media. Their catalogs are organized by mood, genre, instrumentation, tempo, even emotion. That makes it easy for supervisors to quickly find exactly what they need. Even more importantly, the music is usually pre-cleared. That means all the legal paperwork has already been handled. And that makes everyone's job much easier. Once you start submitting your music to libraries, you'll quickly run into one of the biggest decisions in your sync career: exclusive or non-exclusive. With an exclusive agreement, one library has the sole right to represent your track. You can't pitch it anywhere else. In return, exclusive libraries often have stronger industry relationships and may pursue higher value opportunities. With a non-exclusive agreement, you can place the same song in multiple libraries at once. That gives your music broader exposure, but it can also create complications if multiple libraries try to represent the same track to the same client. Neither model is universally better. The right choice depends on your goals, the library you're working with, and the type of music you're creating. One term that confuses a lot of new composers is royalty-free music. Despite the name, royalty-free doesn't mean the music is free. It simply means the customer pays once or subscribes to a platform and can continue using the music under that license without paying additional licensing fees every time the content is viewed. Platforms like these have become incredibly popular because they give creators instant access to huge catalogs of pre-cleared music. For composers, they provide another way to monetize a catalog through upfront payments, revenue sharing, or download-based compensation. It's a different business model than traditional sync, but it's become an important part of today's licensing landscape. At the end of the day, sync licensing isn't just about writing great music. It's about understanding the business that connects your music to the people who need it. Once you know who the decision makers are, how music gets submitted, and how the money flows, you stop throwing tracks into the void, and you start making strategic decisions. Your music isn't just art. It's intellectual property, and every track you create is an asset that can continue generating income for years. So here's my question for you. Are you planning to build an exclusive catalog, a non-exclusive catalog, or are you still figuring out which direction makes the most sense? Let me know down in the comments. And if you have questions about the business side of sync licensing, leave those too. We'll cover them in future videos. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more videos on building a professional career in sync music. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.